Hey, welcome back to ChooseHelp.com. I'm Jim LaPierre, and today I want to talk about coping with having a loved one in active addiction. This is a tall order. It's a hard experience for all of us. We are what a counselor would call affected others. I've always hated that term. It's very cold and it's very sterile. But an affected other is someone who has a friend, a family member, maybe even a coworker, a colleague, someone that they really love or care for who is in active addiction. And the most difficult part, aside from being afraid for our loved one, is the intense feeling of powerlessness that tends to come with having a loved one in active addiction. Powerlessness is unique as an emotional experience. We often feel hopeless or helpless, but we are none of those things. We're powerless because we can't control the situation. We're powerless because we reach out, we try to be helpful, only to find that we're pushed away, or we're met with defensiveness, or we're lied to. And those are behaviors that are common, of course, in active addiction. And it's heartbreaking. I've railed against powerlessness a lot in my life, but what I've learned is that when I don't accept powerlessness, I might as well be hitting my head against a wall, because at the end of it, I have a headache and nothing changed. When I don't accept powerlessness, I'm looking for a way to control something that I can't control. So while it's painful, while I might very well be afraid for the people that I care about when I know that they're in active use, I've learned that I have to turn my attention towards self and towards other relationships in my family, amongst my friends. There's a lot of unintended things that people do when they have a loved one in active addiction. They're not anything that we consciously choose. But very often when we have a family member or a partner who's using, we put our whole life on hold. We sit on the edge of our couch, holding our breath, waiting for the next shoe to drop, waiting for the phone to ring, waiting for the next piece of bad news. And we're full of anxiety, we're not taking care of ourselves, and without ever intending to, oftentimes we neglect our loved ones who aren't in active addiction, because it feels like the whole world should just stop. And that's completely understandable that we feel that way. But the challenge that I offer to folks that I support is, I pray and hope that your loved one is ready for help soon. And how healthy will you be when at last they're ready to receive that? Torturing ourselves doesn't benefit our loved ones, obviously. And I understand that there's a lot of times where it feels like the whole world should just stop, but of course it doesn't. It keeps going. But my responsibility is to take care of me. And so eating poorly and skipping exercise and not attending to other responsibilities and things that bring joy to my life, it doesn't help my loved one. I want to be available to them, and I will offer support in any healthy form. I'm going to be very careful to make sure I'm not enabling. I don't want to make it easier for them to continue killing themselves. Enabling is tough. It always feels like the right thing to do. It always feels like maybe I should give them some money, or maybe I should cover for them, or even lie for them. But as an addictions counselor, I've learned over and over and over again, when I enable someone, I take away their motivation to change. And unfortunately, the biggest motivation for change in terms of active addiction is suffering. And so it goes completely against the grain. It feels completely wrong to let someone that I love suffer. But what I know is that when I soften that for them, when I make their life easier, I'm just helping them to continue in active addiction. I'm making it more likely that they die than that they change or hit bottom. It's a tall order. It's not an easy thing to do. But I hope that you'll draw support from friends and family for yourself. I hope that you'll check out my friends in Al-Anon and Nar-Anon and in other programs where people understand addiction, have lived experience with having loved ones in addiction, and they're people who understand. There's no judgment, there's no shame, there's no stigma. There's just good people who are leaning on each other in a way that benefits all of us. So please invest in yourself, talk with your family, get on the same page with your friends, and let's talk about how we're going to take care of ourselves between now and the time where our loved one is ready to change. And I hope and pray that that day comes soon. But in the meantime, I say to you, it is a responsibility for us to take care of ourselves, our families, and be available to all of our loved ones. So, Jim LaPierre, jim@sobernow.com is how you reach me. Would love to hear your questions or suggestions for topics that you'd like to see covered in future videos. Please check out my site, sobernow.com is the site. Great program there for affected others, for people who have loved ones in addiction, and a home study program for those who are still contemplating moving away from addiction. Jim@sobernow.com. Let me know how we can help. Have a great day.